Hit pause, figure out the part of speech and definition. All right, so the diamond is opaque, it must be fake. Let's start with the word diamond. What part of speech is a diamond? A diamond is a thing, therefore it is a noun. Very good. And what kind of a diamond? It's an opaque diamond. So opaque is describing the noun. Opaque is describing the diamond, and that makes it an adjective. Very good. Now let's look at the bottom sentence. I think that is the best sentence to figure out the definition. The ballerina's tights were an opaque pink, revealing none of her skin. Okay, so if the tights don't reveal any of her skin, they must not be see-through, right? So let's plug in a word. Maybe opaque could be something that's unclear, kind of cloudy. So if you think about it, the diamond is cloudy or unclear. Opaque is the opposite of like crystal clear, right? Crystal clear, you can see right through it, like glass, like a diamond, you can see right through it. Opaque is the opposite. It's kind of cloudy. It's a little bit difficult to see through. Very good. So, before we begin, one thing I want to point out to you, I dropped off books for a lot of you. So, a few of you I actually saw as I did so. I did sanitize the books, so they should be safe. We're going to read The Outsiders after spring break, so you don't need to start reading it. You're welcome to if you would like, okay? I'm going to reach out to some of you, just double checking to make sure you got the book. So if I reach out to you, please let me know you got the book. Let's move on to Act 5, Scene 1. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to alternate reading one line back and forth, okay? Romeo is going to talk about a dream he had last night. And I'm gonna ask you, what does Romeo think this dream foreshadows, right? Think about the word before, it happens before something. Foreshadowing foreshadows before something happens. It tells you before that something is gonna happen in the future, okay? So you and I are gonna go back and forth one line. We're gonna answer the first question on the handout. I'll go first. If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my bosom lord sits lightly in his throne, lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think that I revived and was an emperor, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. Okay, so we're going to try to answer that question. What does Romeo think his dream foreshadows? Romeo dreamt that his lady came and found him dead. Huh. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. Even though he's dead, he's still allowed to think. And she breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. So Romeo foresees what? All right, go ahead and hit pause and answer that question. All right, we're going to move on. So I am going to be Romeo, and you are going to be Balthazar. All right, in our goal to try to describe what's Romeo's mental and emotional state. Like, what's going on with him? You can follow along on page 106, or you can just follow along on the PowerPoint. All right, so you're Balthazar. Here you enter. There you are, Balthazar. You're going to enter and you're booted. So I think that means you're wearing boots. Nice fashion choice. News from Verona? How now, Balthazar? Dost thou bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well. Pause if you need more time. Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Give me ink and paper, and hire post horses. I will hence tonight. Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar? Oh, no matter, get thee gone, and hire those horses, I'll be with thee straight. Okay, so, Romeo wants to know how's Juliet doing, and of course, Balthazar tells him that her body sleeps in Capel's monument, right? I mean, Balthazar thinks Juliet is dead. And Romeo says, is that true? Well, then I defy you stars. What might that mean? I defy you stars. Think about it. These are lovers that are star-crossed. They're ill-fated. If something is written in the stars, it's fate. But Romeo says, I defy you. Right? He's like saying, I guess maybe he's going to defy, he's going to go against fate. And so he tells Balthazar to go get him some horses. But Balthazar says, have patience, like calm down. Your looks are pale and wild. Do you remember the first time Romeo was called pale? Do you remember who called him pale? Juliet, right? She calls him pale when she says goodbye to him for the last time before he has to leave to Mantua. And there's that word misadventure, right? That word from our prologue. Misadventured, piteous overthrows, right? This isn't an adventure, it's a misadventure. It's an adventure that isn't going to end well. So Balthazar goes to get horses, and Romeo goes to an apothecary. So I'm going to be Romeo, and you're going to be the apothecary. And here's our goal. We're going to figure out, why does the apothecary give Romeo poison? An apothecary is somebody who makes medicine. Why would he give Romeo poison? All right. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter into the thoughts of a desperate man. Oh, I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted, in tattered weeds with overwhelming brows, culling of simples, meager were his looks. Sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed in other skins, of ill-shaped fishes, and about his shelves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders of musty seeds. Remnants of pack thread and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show, noting his penury. To myself I said, and if a man did need a poison now, who sails in present Mantua, death in Mantua. Here lives a caitiff, wretch should sell it him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need, and this same needy man must sell it me. As I remember, this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho! Apothecary! What ho! Here you enter. Come hither, man. I see thou art poor. Hold, here's 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb. Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. Need and oppression starveth in thine eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it, and take this. I pay thy poverty and not thy will. There is thy gold, worst poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than those poor compounds that thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell, buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial, and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee. Okay, so Romeo says, come hither, man, I see you are poor. Here are 40 ducats. 40, what do you think a ducat is? 40, probably money, right? And so he's trying to buy poison. But the apothecary says, no, I have poison, but Mantua's law is death to anyone who utters them, who sells poison, right? So Romeo, how does he convince the apothecary? He says, don't be poor, break the law, take this. So he bribes him, right? And the apothecary says, well, it's my poverty that consents, right? Because I'm poor, I'll accept the money. So the apothecary gives Romeo poison, and it's strong. If you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight. I kind of find that hard to believe. That might be an over-exaggeration, aka hyperbole. Very good. But Romeo's response is, here is your gold. Gold is a worse poison to men's souls, doing more murders than those compounds that you are not allowed to sell. Which is kind of interesting. Is it true that gold is worse of a poison than actual poison itself? It's kind of an interesting statement. Let's move on. So, we're going to quickly read through 5.2. I am going to be Friar John, and you are Friar Lawrence. And here is our purpose. What was in Friar Lawrence's letter to Romeo, and why couldn't Friar John deliver it? You are about to be shook. This is so timely, all right? Why couldn't Friar John deliver the letter? Let's do it. Holy Franciscan Friar, brother, how? Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in this city, visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, they sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there, it was stayed. I could not send it, here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it there, or to bring it to thee. So fearful were they of infection. Brother, I'll go and bring it thee. Awesome. So we got Friar John. He was delivering a letter to Romeo. Do you remember? Friar Lawrence told Juliet he was going to send a letter to Romeo letting him know of their plan, that Juliet isn't actually dead. So Friar John goes to take the letter to Romeo, but his speed to Mantua is stayed. Why was his speed to Mantua stayed? They suspected that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign. Infectious. What is something that's infectious? Something that causes infection. During Shakespeare's time, there was a horrible plague that was spreading all across Europe. So, Friar John is not able to send the letter because they thought he might have the plague. My friends, how insane is that we are reading this story right now when we are supposed to stay in our own homes in order to make sure we're not spreading an infection. So this letter did not get to be sent, which we know because Romeo, in the scene just before this, asked Balthazar, is there a letter for me? And he says no. So Romeo has no idea what is going on. So he's going to Juliet's cell and he has poison. Friar Lawrence says, yo, Friar John, go, get me an iron crow. An iron crow? Have you ever heard of a crowbar? A crowbar. He needs a crow in order to get into Juliet's cell because she's in a tomb. Ay, ay, ay. All right, my friends. So, the first thing I want to talk about, the in-class work from Friday, I need you to turn that in. Okay, I'm going to go and show that to you in a moment. But that is required. That is work that needs to be done. And your homework that is due Wednesday is to read the very last scene of the play. read it at least twice, okay? So 5.3, read it twice, find out what happens. I'm sad that the play is over myself. So really quickly, I want to show you the in-class work from Friday one more time. What you need to do, you need to go in and you need to edit this script. Okay, if you haven't done this yet, please make sure you go in and cut it. I'm not going to spend time showing that because I did it in my last video. But when you are done, make sure you hit turn in up here in the corner. Turn in will pop up in a moment. Okay, so again, it is on the classwork. Okay, so you'll click on it, and then when you're done, you'll hit turn in. All right, I love you guys. Stay healthy, stay safe. There's the turn in button. So when you're done, please hit turn in. All right, stay safe. Wash those hands. I miss you guys. It was nice seeing some of you as I delivered books.